Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. Actually, do you want to tweet real fast on and let people know we're live?
Yeah, man. Let me find the link
Okay. We're
on.
gonna let everyone come in for a second. So if you're showing up, what is up, everyone? This is gonna be a really good, super fun Sunday. We've got a great artist to check out.
I'm really excited because when you told me who this guy was, I'm like, I've never
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of him.
yeah. I was hoping you wouldn't know his work. I'm assuming if you don't know it, then a lot of people won't. So that's good.
Yeah,
I need to send this email really fast.
here we go. I'm clicking in. I'm gonna click share.
Um,
Share on Twitter,
okay, let me.
and it's going out. Out
Okay,
it goes. Out it goes. It is in the Twitter space.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna send it on Facebook as well.
Did you at me?
Oh, I'm not
Let me
sure.
see.
Let me check.
Okay.
I gotta switch my other Twitter
You
account.
guys are here. Post a comment and say hello. It'll be fun to see who's showing up so far. This is the first time that I've ever done a live super fun Sunday, so it'll be cool just to do it in general, and then the fact that it's with you is even better.
Oh,
So
there we
we've
go.
got 10 people. Hey, what's up? This is going to be really fun. What's up, James? Hi, Zion, and we got Ryan. What's up, Ryan? Okay, let me. I'm gonna grab this link.
There we go. I got it. I sent it out on Twitter.
Okay. Said it's a pain in
What's
the ass.
up, Zion, James, Ryan, Mr. Win? How are you, man? You sleeper? You slept when I talked about your book, man. Leg kicks in the house. Big love for Mr. Bruce. Got to give big love. If you guys can share this link, we're gonna be having a good time.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
You know, what up, Paul? Paulus Arts. Hey,
What's up,
what's
Victor?
up?
Hi, how's it
Hey,
going,
man.
everyone?
Familiar
All right,
faces
so
up
so
there.
this is a total coincidence. I want to show you guys something. So I told Dan last night I had kind of got done working and I was pretty exhausted. I don't know why, but like it was a long day and I had done a lot of shit. And so I was just watching YouTube, like, and I was sitting facing that way. And I'm like, I'm in my boxers, I'm tired, and I'm watching them stream, and I'm like, this looks like fun. And so Dan did a really beautiful it was like a Viking drawing last
Yeah.
night. You have it? Yeah, show
I
it.
do. It's right next to the.
So in the comments section, I always like to encourage people to draw, pros and fans alike. I mean, I think it's very, very important to give back to the artistic community and just encourage creativity. I know you're like that too. It's like
Yeah.
I want everyone to have fun drawing. I want everyone to enjoy comics. It's so important, and it's a healthy thing for your mind.
Yeah, it changed my life, man. I'll tell you, being able to. I remember when I was 12. I have four brothers, and one of them is my older
Oh, I
brother.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, and he used to like. He was a really mean. He was a mean big brother. He was one of those guys, and I remember being really angry and wanting to vent, and I wanted to draw this picture of a horse shooting fire out of its face.
Right.
And I could see this image, but I couldn't draw it. And I remember thinking like how frustrating it was that I couldn't take what was in me and bring it out.
Right, that's interesting.
And I feel like the whole adventure the entire time was to be able to kind of manifest something that exists in another place,
right,
to share with the world, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a catharsis in it. It feels magical.
Right.
When you get feedback from people that feel similarly as you
Right.
do, you know, that's what I try to tell people about their books. When they go, hey, you know, I don't know what style to draw in and whatever.
Right.
I used to be there. I used to style chase.
Sure,
You've known me a long time. I had a lot of times where I was trying to draw like other people.
Yeah.
But what I found out is when I was able to kind of tell the truth
Right.
with how I was feeling and how I wanted it to be executed.
Yeah.
I started, and this sounds weird, I started to become a fan of my own work.
Right.
And it became magical to me that the thing in my head was coming out on paper. And when I was done, I'd be just as like thrilled.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing like it. And if you can give that to someone else,
right,
it's a massive gift.
Dude, well, what was it? Monstrosities? Is that was his name last night?
Yeah,
like that guy.
He's great.
Like, he's a perfect example, and he might watch this because he said he does follow my channel. hearing that you encouraged him to draw, I mean, like you said, he's an older guy. He's not like someone that's 22 that's like, I want to draw comics. This is someone that's been a fan of comic books for like 50 years.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of ability. And it's like someone like you giving him the green light is huge. It's so important to encourage people and to plant seeds in people that like you can do this too if you actually put the time into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, I'm sitting in my boxers. I'm watching you guys stream. I wrote like awesome job on the piece, and Dan immediately like pings me back and goes, "Do you want to come on?" And I was like, you know what? I'm trying to be more outgoing, and like, I mean, I'm outgoing to an extent, but I'm always kind of insular. And I'm like, I need to do more stuff like this. It's like I grew up an only child, so I'm very like self-focused, like kind of, you know what I mean? It's just
my wife's an only child, so I totally get it. Yeah.
Right. And it's just like I'm very comfortable being alone and just doing stuff alone. But it's like, you know, I have to kind of push myself. It's like, hey, be more like I'm not antisocial by any means. But anyway, so what's funny is I was thinking about inviting Dan on a super fun Sunday as I'm watching them talk. I end up on Dan's show. Okay, we do the super fun Sunday literally the next morning. And okay, this shirt is a complete coincidence. This is the funniest thing is I did laundry like 2 days ago, and I was laughing because I had 25 black shirts and I have one blue shirt, and so I just fold them and put them in a stack, and every day I grab one off the top of the stack, and like what shirt do I grab today of all days? Black Flag. I mean, it's completely bizarre.
Serendipitous, so man. I'm telling you, that's the universal universe and frequencies. Yeah, it's
everything
awesome.
Went black.
That's so cool.
Yeah, isn't that funny? All right, so the artist that I picked today is a guy named Kilian Plunkett, and I first saw Kilian's stuff right after Wildstorm got bought by DC. I gave Dan a little bit of preamble of how I discovered his art, so I didn't know Kilian's work before, but it's this. Watch Dan's face when I say that. It's like a mix of Arthur Adams meets Michael Golden. Yes, you're gonna love it.
How do I not know this guy?
Dude, this guy is so good. He's so
I can't
good.
Wait. I can't wait. You know, I think it's because I wasn't really a DC guy.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah, holy shit. I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Rich, he when he sent me the link, he said, "Hey, it's this guy Kilian Plunkett. Don't even research him." So this is literally the absolute first time I'm seeing it. In fact, up until I came on your show, I was on Shane Davis's show. His book just launched today. Starlight Cats. I had no time to research it, even if I wanted to be sneaky about it.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like Kelsey and I are gonna do this thing on Wednesday this week, and we're both gonna try to surprise each other with the artists that we think the other will love that maybe they haven't seen, or like a book that they haven't seen. It's not easy. It's not easy.
I've got one that maybe you haven't. Have you ever heard of?
I have that Sam Keith Wolverine reprint that you showed last night. I'm all over those.
Oh, the True Believer edition
checklist.
Yeah. Are you familiar with a European book called Hagarth?
It kind of sounds familiar. Is it the blonde like little caricature guy with the like pigtails or ponytails?
No. That's Asterix.
Okay.
Now this is I'll show it to you, and then
let me see. I won't peek ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll just show you the cover of it, and then you'll be like, oh shit. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh man, that is nice. Holy shit! God damn, that is a very high energy thing. Yeah,
that's all. That's all you get to see. So when we do this again, Hagarth.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go into the screen share mode, and I'm going to pull up Photoshop, and there's 4 issues that he did of this. If we can get through all 4, we'll do it. If it starts to lag, then we can kind of we'll see. But here, so let me go into share screen.
Can't wait, man.
Application window. And then I want to get in a Photoshop. It always is weird like this. Let me see.
Smoke weed every day.
All right, entire screen, application window. It's weird. It always is laggy trying to find Photoshop for me. I don't know why that is. It gives me Google Chrome and then a folder that I have open. Let me shut the folder.
Yeah, you know what I end up doing, dude? Like
I just have to go back and then.
If you go into, I don't know if you're on a PC or a Mac.
Oh, here it is. I got it now.
I'll take a series of JPEGs and turn them into a single PDF, and then
Right.
I'll open it in a PDF program so I can
Oh,
just
that's actually smart. You know
go
what? I
through.
can start doing that. That's a good idea. But anyway, okay, so here I'm going to share the screen. You keep an eye on the chat and just let me know if there's comments or questions or whatever.
Yeah, of course, man. What's up, Atomic Bulldog? He says, finally I catch a live stream.
Okay,
Glad.
All right, so I'm in Photoshop.
Ooh.
I can't see anything now.
Is that him on the cover?
Yeah, it's his cover art. So the first thing you're going to notice is this guy is just killer with all these little vehicles. He draws the shit out of them in a Michael Golden kind of thing.
Yeah, they look like toys, like or form and function, man.
And his characters have a little bit of the Arthur Adams thing.
I see a little bit in the rendering, especially on her legs, a bit of that Mobius or I forget the name of the guy who drew the mask. Was it Doug Mankey?
Doug Mankey, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that.
So that's actually interesting that you said that, because one of the early books that Kilian worked on, Kilian is an Irish artist out of Dublin who currently works as a lead character designer on the cartoon for Attack of the Clones. But one of his early jobs was he actually was working on the mask. So you nailed that.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Trippy.
So, all right, let's get into the book.
Really great sense of scale, too.
Yeah. We're going to go out of order, but man, what do you see this stuff? It's so good.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not a lot of and I'm only noticing this because it's something I've been getting into lately, is not a lot of consideration for light source. Everything is sort of line art, but the fact that he's using enough depth cues on things that you get 100% what the form is. With really, I mean, it's super simplified.
Minimal shadows, but they're on the right stuff.
You know what's trippy is that fish tank looks like Eduardo Rizzo, the 100 Bullets guy.
I can't stop looking at the fish tank. It's funny that you said that. The skull reminds me of like a little Bisley skull.
Yeah.
Like just one of the ones that he would throw in. But yeah, I haven't, and the nice thing, I didn't peek ahead on this. I haven't seen this comic book in probably 10 or 12 years, but whenever I find them like in my storage, I'm always like, yes, I need to flip through this.
What's it called?
It's called Trouble Magnet.
Trouble. I'm writing it down.
4-issue miniseries.
I'll be able to find it.
They're all really, really good. But do you see, this kind of reminds me of Art Adams a little bit.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it in that face. The
face,
the bone structure. Of course, he's got the Wolverine flannel on.
Right. Well, and the hand is totally like how J. Scott Campbell would do his early Gen 13 hands, where everyone was like always kind of like this.
That's an Art Adams thing, and the way the way the forearm is going back like that, that's also an Art Adams thing.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Yeah, I was so excited when I found this guy's stuff, because I was like, man, this is just very, very cool shit.
Nothing stiff either. Everything flows.
Yeah.
Really clean layouts. There's consideration for design, where the lettering sits, and it's non-obstructive. Is that either Eliopoulos or John Workman on letters?
It could be, yeah. It's interesting too, because I would consider his art isn't like hyper dense, but it is dense, and he leaves plenty of room for word balloons. It's really like something that I'm learning sort of the art of right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, having a 6 or 7 panel page and having enough room to actually squeeze in the right stuff.
Oh,
you can see that interior, like a little bit of a Michael Golden vibe here and there.
Look at that interior. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Now, who is he inking himself here, or is he somebody inking?
No, he's not. Someone else is inking, and we'll figure it out when we get to the front end of the book. But yeah, I don't believe that he did ink this.
Okay.
He does the robot great. It's really, really cool.
She's great too.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to move his camera. That's one of the things I talk to people about a lot, as far as moving their camera. And moving it for narrative reasons, to tell because that's what we're doing. We're making a string of pearls, basically, right? And we basically want to get our audience story-wise from one story beat and move over to another story beat. And each of the things that a panel that we draw should be designed to lead us to the next place.
He's really got a cinematic quality to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this shot. This is so nice with this missile tracking this thing.
Yeah.
That robot's so cool.
And you said this was what, 90?
This would have been probably 2000, 2001, like right around there.
Okay, 2001.
I love the look. I mean, and this is, you know, I give this guy props too, because this is pre 3D models. I mean, he's drawing like, I don't know, is this a Humvee or a Jeep, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, this was back in the day when you actually had to draw this stuff and not just find like a thing that you could trace real quick.
Right.
I mean, it does make a big difference.
It's organic feeling. I mean, that's what I noticed a lot of the time. You know, the guy who did it best. And I know you did a whole video on this, but like Michael Golden had a way of drawing these things, but he would bend them. Do you ever notice how they'd kind of, like, if they were going over a hill, they'd kind of have a little bit of a cartoon bend, like a squash and stretch.
Yeah.
But they held their form, and there's these solid objects that, because he drew them in that way, and the exaggerated figures, the world seemed complete. And whenever anybody, let's say you have a cartoony style, but you use a 3D model for the car, it sticks out like a sore thumb, because it doesn't have the same vibe and energy as the other stuff.
Yeah. If you could draw it out of the reference, I think it would work. The stuff is, I think another thing that reminds me about Art Adams with this guy is that he uses fairly traditional panel layouts. Like, to me, this is just a very, like, it's like widescreen panel, and then these two sort of similar sized panels, and straight up and down shot. Like, this is hard to make fun, and he does a real good job with it.
He definitely clarity, I think, is his.
Now we're back in the lab. Look at this
concern.
It's so cool.
I love that. That's great tech. It's believable looking.
Look at these like flat file folders here. Is an awesome little addition too.
Yeah.
I want to open them and see what's inside.
It feels like a real place, a real lab. That switchboard there feels real and legit. Yeah, there's a nice clarity to this guy's stuff. The only thing I don't dig, the only thing I don't, oh man. The only thing I'm not, I would have loved to have seen him colored, this guy colored by someone like Bob Sharon or Petra Scottis.
Okay.
Like, these are sort of warm fall colors.
Right.
Like, you know, and like, I imagine this guy, if he would, like, Petra Scottis is almost like winter/spring colors.
Well, a lot of purples. I'm taking it to a new hue.
Yeah, if you get it into like a purpley blue hue,
this is, I do kind of like this better, even though it's really weird.
Yeah. Now, if you kept everything there the way it is, but you colored his skin flesh tone,
right?
That's Petra Scottis. That almost to a T right there.
Oh,
she colored like the Art Adams. You remember the Action Comics annual that he did that was inked by Giordano? She colored that. She colored the Man Bat Superman story that Mignola had done.
Right.
And there's something very sublime. And Bob Sharon had a similar sort of palette where he was, look at that. How did you do that by just tapping it in like that?
I'm using the paint bucket tool. It looked, it's funny, I was looking at the art and I was like, this stuff looks isolated enough where I can put it in around the line art.
Yeah.
It's a tight enough scan. Yeah. I'm a wizard. I'm like a dumb wizard. I can do all kinds of completely meaningless things.
Nah, this is cool, but look at how it transforms the art.
Yeah. It works.
You know, if it was these, I think we were talking about this a little bit last night about how an inker can affect pencils. And I believe that what do you call it? Colors are the same. You know, like this could have been passed up by somebody that just wasn't feeling the vibe of the colors.
You know, and honestly, it is funny that you're pointing that out, because there was always something about this series that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, honestly. Like, I've always loved the art, but it was one that was easy to like look at for an afternoon and then put away for an extended amount of time. And I do think that with better colors, this stuff would have really, really been incredible.
Yeah.
hate to be critical of something like that, but you know, and I mean, I know you and I both like old school colors. It was funny last night when you were streaming and that guy broke out the old Marvel comic, that like compilation, and when he flipped past the Hulk page, like everybody in the chat went like, "Oh my God, look at that Hulk!" And it was like a really old Kirby piece that was colored, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, comics. I mean, that's the thing is they're supposed to be evocative.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the only time I ever saw that concept being pushed over to Tilt, and this is something that Matt Yackey and I used to have long discussions about. Brian, I don't know if you remember Brian Murray.
I know the name. Yeah.
He did Supreme. He colored X-Force.
Right.
We would talk about Dark Knight 2. You know, the one that Frank Miller had done in the year 2000.
Oh, right.
And how it was very abstract. And a lot of people were like, he's a fucking hack, you know? And I'm like, no, dude, he's pushing things. Like, if comics are supposed to be ciphers and evocative to make you feel a certain way, because a lot of times when people read a comic, I'm not this kind of person. I actually like to fine tooth, go through it, you know, and look at it. I think you and I talked about this before. There are some readers, though, that just, they're snapshots that move the story along.
Right.
I felt like Dark Knight, that second Dark Knight, was Frank pushing it as far as it can go into the simplicity to give you a vibe of something without having to go into like the noodling and detail of it. I do.
Oh, go ahead.
It might just have. I think it might have been a step too far.
I think the colors too were very hard for people to get into. Lynn had come. That was funny is that was when I met Frank Miller. He came to Wildstorm, and specifically Lynn was trying to learn digital colors from Alex Sinclair. And it's not to say that Alex Sinclair taught her how to do what she did with it, but she was very interested in getting into it, and that's what she ended up doing with it. But yeah,
her sensibilities didn't translate, though. It's like there's one thing. Hey, can you go back one more page where you were?
Yeah, that last page was very Mignola.
Yeah, if you go back to that last panel on that one, I'd like to see you do the color change on that, because there's no humans.
Yeah.
There's no humans in it, and we can see how changing it from warm to cool and playing with those would really do it.
11.
Yeah, there it is.
Hold on.
Matt Yackey and I talk a lot about Lynn Varley because she's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
like when she's on, like Elektra Lives, masterpiece, and those colors are very much part of the whole entire thing. Same with the Wolverine trade paperback cover from the Claremont series.
Right.
That piece in itself is very much Lynn Varley. So you go, oh, these are her choices, and that's her execution. I just don't know why it didn't translate digitally. You know, it's like she should have just used the same palette.
She was really trying something out there. When I picture like neon green, like turquoise blue, and then like pink, but like all sort of airbrushed and weird, like kind of spark.
It was very weird.
It was very weird. I think that book in black and white would look way better. Not, you know, or colored differently, but that would definitely help it.
Colored her old school way, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see what this page looks like when you do the Command U shift.
Yeah. Here, let me
yeah.
Oh, here, let me get it smaller so we can see. You tell me when. Even that I like better, to be honest. I think this second panel actually looks really cool with this like neon green on it.
Yeah, if you take it over towards a little more blue and then pull the saturation down just slightly, that, you know, to me that's badass. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nolan comic now,
and that totally looks like it could have been in Hellboy,
right?
You know? So the color really does a lot for vibe and mood of things.
Actually very, very cool. Like this, it looks like they're fighting like outside, and like the power has been all turned off around them.
Yeah, like moonlight.
Yeah. It's actually, it's kind of giving me chills thinking about it. It's very, very cool, man. I feel so blessed to be working with Kelsey on Blasterkid, man. Yeah. It's like I'm working with a freaking genius. It's like
he is a genius, and he's comedy gold too. That guy. That guy, I've busted a gut, literally laughing at his stuff.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm like, oh, I want to take it to that other place now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks so much better like this. I mean, obviously there's little flaws with doing it this way. It's a very rough way.
I mean, yeah, it's like broad stroke almost.
Yeah, it does. This actually really creates a killer mood. A little bit of glow on this fire right here, like maybe like some weird color, like it's burning phosphorus. Oh man, that looks
right. And then the sound effects too. Maybe take those to a different place just to pop them. But yeah, I think he might have done better with a better colorist. I know that sounds crazy, but
I mean, like I said, there was always something off for me with the book, and I think that you hit it on the head, and it was something that I might not have been able to completely. I
wonder who this is. It has a vibe almost like remember Digital Chameleon Laverne?
Right.
Yeah, he colored all those Bisley Lobos.
Right.
It's got a bit of that vibe, like when Keith Giffen, and I do see some Keith Giffen in this guy's stuff too.
Right. Yeah, it's you figure he probably grew up on like 2000 AD comics. If he was from Ireland, like he was probably getting like stuff from Europe.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be far-fetched to think that Keith Giffen and just some pretty interesting like meat and metal kind of comics. This is a great shot right here, man. That middle panel.
Whoa! Yeah, holy shit!
That's
and
nice.
that sound effect.
I like how they did it. I was thinking the same thing. That really makes your eye move right through the wham to his hand.
The wham feels like it's flat and going across the ground too. That is some good lettering.
It really is. It's what was the first thing that got me excited about the page was how dynamic that was. Yeah. So you think this will be John Workman?
I think it's John Workman because it's either John Workman or Chris Eliopoulos. It just feels. I see like some Simonson vibes too. Like,
do you like this stuff? Do you like the art?
Oh yeah, that's why I had to write it down. Trouble Magnet, and now I'm gonna look him up.
Because it's like you're not an easy person to stump. It was funny as I'm trying to remember. I was almost gonna try. I considered doing Medieval Spawn Witchblade with Brandon Peterson.
Oh, I know that book. I love that book.
Looking at Ripclaw, and I was like, this isn't it. Dig deeper, Rich. Dig deeper. And then Kilian popped into my mind, and I went, yes.
Look at this shot. See, that looks like a Mignola. That looks like Mignola. Like 19
colors.
Fafard Gray Mouser.
Yeah.
Era.
I keep taking it to this weird place. Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then you bring the saturation down. Oh, look at that. See, that's my favorite color combo. I love drab green and purple. That is like my fucking sweet spot.
That top panel is very cinematic. Man, that looks like something right out of a really good cartoon or like movie almost.
Yeah, this guy has a style that is it brings you in, and I'm sure it's if I drew like this, I could probably draw 3 times faster than I draw now.
Wow, that's crazy. This looks very time consuming to me.
I think it's time consuming in the figuring out construction of things.
It's real accurate.
But that's what it is. There's an accuracy to it, and then there's a pithiness. And I talked about this on my stream a little bit last night about how if you can distill something down to the most minimal information that it takes to convey that idea, that's what you do. And the best artists, guys like Silvestri, they do a mix and match. Like you can look at a Silvestri panel and the city in the background is actually really only a few lines. And then, that street lamp is just enough to define it. And then you get this character that's up and close and it's hyper detailed in all these wrinkles. And it's like, it's a nice balance.
Yeah.
And it's almost photographic in that way. It creates this atmospheric perspective through detail depth.
I'm going to turn this grayscale and I'm going to lower the light on it just a little bit. He almost does like Phil Hale lighting. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Phil Hale's paintings, but like Phil will do this where everything looks very 3D because of this just slight shadow he puts under everything. And this guy kind of does it with it. Where it's like spotlit. Yeah, it's a really subtle lighting thing, but everything's kind of got a bit of a shadow underneath it, and it really gives it a sense of form. I love this little, again, this little vehicle popping in the frame right here is just great.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Vamp from G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And again, this is just like reminds me so much of Michael Golden.
Yeah, that angle is great too. We're on the ground.
Yeah, look at this. It's stopping and lifting up.
That's a Golden thing for sure. He's definitely got, like, I think Art Adams has gone and said that he learned how to do multiple character panel layouts from Teen Titans X-Men. He
Right.
said he used that as sort of his blueprint because Simonson had to put, multiple teams in the same book and make it look good. This guy seems to be taking it to the next level because look at all those characters, yet it's still clear.
This reminds me so much of Art Adams. These little figures. It looks like looks like Anne from Monkey Man and O'Brien a little bit.
And I like the colors on this one. This one feels right to me.
I like the lighting on the palm trees. How like usually like they'll have lights in the bushes pointing up, and so it lit these up like brighter.
Yeah,
it's a nice touch. Yeah, you figure Art Adams at this point in 2000 was just kind of starting to make his comeback. Like from 95 to like 2005 was a little bit of it was a little like his stuff got a little stiff for a while. And
it's
then
so funny you bring that up, dude.
Huh?
It's so funny you bring that up. One of the conversations I have a lot, we have this sweet spot conversation, right? We like basically our favorite eras of artists. Guys that have, like, for example, John Byrne, right? He has a best era, and at a certain point you go, I'm done with him. Art Adams, there was that period, like you say, 95 to
so much better.
Yeah, look at that. That looks like Art Adams right there.
Right.
But 95 to like 2005, yeah, it was like the stuff, like you said, there was a stiffness, there's like a goofiness. But then like right around 2006, 2007, he's like, fuck. And he just kind of turned it on and just rocket shipped out again.
So Chris Chuckery did the colors, and then Willie Schubert, who actually he lettered a book that I did with Tom McWeeny. We did a Gen 13 book together, and Willie Schubert lettered it. He's great.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic. And I guess Kilian is the one, he's inking his own stuff.
He did it all, yeah. So Chuckery's colors are maybe a little more saturated than we like, and then he sort of has a different sort of seasonal outtake. But I mean, like, watch when I turn this back to what the colors were. I think this looks better. This looks to me like Vegas in like November or December, and it's about like 10 o'clock in the morning or something. But watch this. I mean, that's weird colors, right?
It is weird. It seems wrong.
Yeah, it's just too
much yellow, too much green.
Yeah, it's weird. So let's grab the next issue. I think we're getting close to the end of this issue, but we'll do definitely at least one more full book. So
Hey, Paulus Arts in the chat says, I'm really realizing just how much I have to learn. That's the exciting part, man. Don't get discouraged by that at all. That's to me, that's the most exciting part about what we do. Because every day I feel like I have so much to learn. I see new stuff. I get blown away. I'm looking at this Kilian guy's work, and I'm going, oh man, I need more of that in my own work. I need,
Yeah, that's the fun of it.
This is exciting.
Where's the cover? Let me see something here real quick. I missed the cover somehow. Is the cover? Oh, here it is. So this is the cover for Trouble Magnet number 2.
Yeah, see, I would have tweaked. I would have tweaked that too. It almost feels like it's missing a color. Like, do you I'm trying to think. You're in Photoshop right now?
I am, yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember whatever command is. M for curves.
Oh yeah, you want me to hit the curves?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. I'm
on an Apple, it's Command M, and I don't know on a Windows. I think it's Control M. So then, if you go down and pull it down, right now it's in RGB. Go to where it says red. Like, see where it says,
the drop down red. Okay.
Yeah, drop down to red, and then grab it by the middle.
Okay.
and then just move it around just slightly a little
Up
bit.
or down?
Up, a little up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what it is there's some colorists. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to remove it.
Or
Some
do it
colorists
to more blue. That's the other one too, is instead of more red, since it's underwater, go with more blue.
Yeah,
Like
it's interesting. Some colorists will use like a reflective light that you can't necessarily see in the work, but you feel it. Like a lot of them will use like a purple, like, and
Yeah.
there's always this like feeling of like a magenta or purple in the work. And I'm not a huge fan of that floating around kind of like underneath the surface.
Yeah.
Let me see this. Oh, I'm removing it. Let me get a little more blue.
You go up, you add more to it. And
Yeah.
and now if you go to the overall curves, like go to the RGB one.
Yeah.
So you leave that there, go to the RGB one. Now grab that and then move that down and around and just find a good place. You'll notice like it'll get there we go. Like, I mean, it obviously the artist is there. We go. That's it right there.
Yeah,
to me that's more appealing than the weirdness that was there before. Like that, to me, that pops.
This almost has the drawing almost has a tiny bit of like a Carlos Meglia feel.
Yeah, and then if you change the DC logo to red,
right,
that would literally because
you make it pop.
Yeah, picking the DC logo to be the sort of the same color as the rest of the vibe, takes away from it. I know it's weird, but that it's.
No, I mean, it all ties
design
in.
Thing.
Kelsey and I were looking at a comic. It was Jaguar God by Verotic, and for whatever weird reason, they had done all the caption balloons in like neon pink, like a magenta-y pink, like real bright. It was very weird, but it would throw off the whole balance of the page sometimes just based on that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move through some of the more mundane pages a little quicker just to get to the good stuff. So it's funny now they're moving this piece of machinery in the truck. It's funny.
That's a cool piece of machinery. It's so cool looking that it's memorable.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I feel like like it's like a computer, like hard drive almost, but just like a really big one or something.
Yeah, but it looks like it works.
Yeah,
whatever it is, it looks functional. I mean, that's the thing about Kirby stuff. Kirby stuff always looks so cosmic and alien that it always looked powerful. But this looks like it was made by men, and it works.
Yeah. Here's another little Art Adams kind of drawing to me, like this little guy in the trench coat.
The hairstyle too.
Yeah, it's funny.
Adding the little bit of the little debris chunks on things. Yeah. That's definitely Keith Giffen thing to do. He did a lot of that in the Trencher.
What was funny is I hadn't seen Trencher in probably like 15 years, and I finally tracked down copies of it, and I flipped through it, and I was like, yes, finally. It was really fun to see it because I had like a memory of it and kind of a nostalgia, but to see it, it is very, very cool art.
Yeah, he did his thing. I mean, I remember Rob was so inspired by it. When I say Rob, I'm talking about Rob Liefeld. When he did Blood Wolf, did Blood Wolf, that was literally his ode to Keith Giffen.
Right.
You know, it's like this Lobo-esque character done in a sort of Trencher style through the Rob Liefeld filter.
Yeah, no one back then really was drawing like Keith Giffen on Trencher. I mean, that was like he had taken Bisley and almost like turned on some sort of like crystallized a filter where like everything was particles of shape.
Well, that's something that a lot of people don't give Giffen credit for, is that all that Lobo Bisley stuff that we love that he wrote, he also did the layouts for.
Wow.
And Bisley basically was inking over Giffen's layouts. Like they were pretty verbatim. Oh yeah. That's why if you look at the credits, it says Giffen's story and layouts.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I never put that together.
Yeah. So a lot of that weirdness and like funkiness that we get out of Biz in the Lobo stuff that we don't see in Biz in like Jaguar God and stuff he had done after is because of the Keith Giffen factor not being there.
See, every day you can learn something new. What's funny is I with these videos, it's like I always go like, you're spending an hour, you're on YouTube, you're doing this or you're doing that, but this will stay with me for the next few days, and I'll mill this video over, and I'll mill now the conversation that we're having over, And I learn a lot from looking at this stuff. And it's like, I don't even know what my takeaway will be, but at some point I'll draw something and I'll be able to solve a problem or approach a problem in a different way just based on seeing this. Like, it could be like I have to draw a piece of machinery and I think of that piece of, you know, tech that we keep talking about.
I think what I want to do from looking at this stuff moving forward on Black Flag is I like the fact that his lighting is deceptively simple.
Right.
But it also provides a clarity. Because my stuff, like I come from similar tastes as this guy. I love Michael Golden. I love Art Adams. I'm also like a McFarlane junkie. Frazetta, like Frazetta's line art. I love Frazetta paintings, but I'm an even bigger fan of Frazetta's pen and ink work and his brush work. But looking at this, I'm almost seeing like a nice blueprint for how to stay detailed, but also evoke some simplicity, some clarity. I like that.
I'm kicking up the blues a little bit here. Oh, I don't think I was trying to see if I could get more blue into it.
That's when you use the curves.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, I've been using Photoshop since version 1. I remember when I first came to Extreme and I saw Photoshop for the first time. That's cool. Well, that's a little bright.
It needed to feel a little more underwater, and I get it could be kind of swampy water, but like watch when we go back to like the original colors. Like what is
that's wacky.
Yeah, it's
kind of garish. Like I don't know. I always try to think
that out to me though, because I today I would have figured it out, but yeah, like I said, it's conversations about art, man. I'm telling you, even that stream last night, like talking to 9 different people about comic art was really fascinating. And I like it, you know what I also learned from it was interesting is seeing all you guys having done the Viking drawings, you know, the like about hour drawings. I realized that you probably had this experience too. You're pretty good at like designing stuff, but I was thinking while I was looking at each person's drawing, I was like, I need to be more creative with my snap decisions. I need to like when someone says draw a Viking, I need to think, give him 3 ponytails in his beard. I need to think, give him like some really crazy jacket. He has to have a ton of gear on him. Things like that, where you might like my first thought might have been too boring, you know, and I might have drawn something boring, not stepping back just for 1 second and going like, no, man, like you're trying to draw something that's entertaining, not just literally drawing a Viking.
Are you on Pinterest?
No, I mean, I'm not the second, but yeah.
No, but I'm saying like this is what I find to be a lot of fun, and this is like I always say if you want to go on a journey, you got to fill the tank, right?
Yeah.
And what I'll do, like if I know, and I do this with random stuff, like I'll look up. Let's say if I looked up Vikings, for example, on Pinterest, and I go, oh, that's cool looking. It gives you all these suggestions of things that are like it below it.
Right.
And it might not even be Viking related, but you're like, oh, that's really fucking cool. Yeah, and then you click on that and it shows you other stuff. And what it does is like some of your pathways go, oh, wouldn't it be cool if? Oh, wouldn't it be cool if? And then all of a sudden, like when you're faced with the possibility of drawing a Viking, all of that stuff is in there that you can play with, and you don't have to deal with the conventional.
The first time that I got kicked in the nuts with that sort of like your ideas need to be better sort of experience that you get when you see someone really good who's super creative was, and Kelsey mentioned it. I used to be on this thing called the Shane Glein drawing boards. Did you ever go there?
I wasn't in the boards. And speaking of awesome artists, Sandra Hope is in the chat.
Oh, is she? What's up, Sandy?
What's up, lady? Super talented.
I need to get you on a stream. That would be so fun.
That would be great, man. You guys need to follow her on Twitter. Some of the best content
and Instagram. I'll put links to everything. The unfortunate thing is when I use StreamYard, I don't know what it is. This video won't be re-uploaded back to my channel for like 12 hours. If as long as there's a link to this, it'll be up. But for whatever reason, it won't appear once it's over. If you just go to my channel, super annoying. But So on Shane Glein's drawing board, once a week they would do this thing. I think it was, I can't remember what it was called, but they would post a piece of photo reference, and about 100 different professional cartoonists, aspiring artists, comic book artists would all do a rendition of like they would just post a model sitting on the beach or whatever it is.
Sure.
And man, you would see the creativity of these people, and you would go like, I did something clever this week. This is a good one. Like I'm going to be able to hang with like the most creative people on this idea. And man, people would you would go, man, their imagination is just off the charts. So it always reminded me to like dig deeper on ideas.
Fill the tank, man. That's what I always say. Fill the tank.
Yeah.
If we're reliant on things that we've seen or experienced,
God,
and like I said, I always say that everything is a mashup or a remix.
Sure.
Like everything is. That's what we're doing. That's what an idea is. It's taking one concept, putting it together, and that harmonic is what becomes the new idea.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. I used to be real sensitive about that, like where I'd be like, this person swiped from this. This is like this artist. And then I was like, dude, you need to chill out, Rich. Being a jerk.
I did the same thing. I mean, we used to when we were younger, we used to just fight it out. I remember Jay Scott and Dan Norton and I used to fax each other and talk shit on each other.
That's Dan is really good. I should Sandra inked Dan Norton for years. She was like his main inker for I don't know. I can't see the chat, but I would say 5 years, maybe 3 to 5 years.
Crazy.
Inked Dan. Dan's great. He's so
great. He's over there at Riot Games working on League of Legends.
Yeah, this is really cool. Man, this looks like a lot of work. Holy cow.
Yeah, the scaffold or whatever you call that was where he spent most of his day, probably.
I love we're still traveling with this robot thing. This is hysterical. Like now it's on the back of this thing when it's got treads.
Whatever it is, it's important.
Right? Like he really did a great job.
Maybe it's the trouble magnet.
You know what it is? I think it's like in a 2001 Space Odyssey, I think it's like something weird like that. It's like the obelisk.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, look at that little detail, the ice cream truck with a melted snowman. That's a cool little detail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
And that plane, spot on.
It's crazy that he inked all this stuff too. It was interesting because I assumed when you initially were going to launch Black Flag, I really would have guessed that you probably were going to ink yourself. But
no, I'm too slow.
I'm complimenting Shelby on his inks. I've followed Shelby for a long time online, and I've always felt that he's highly underrated, and way more people should know his work. Just as
he reminds me of if Klaus Janson and Scott Williams had a love child.
Right. I told him, this morning I wrote a comment and I was like, his stuff will be tight and it's loose. They're very accurately thrown lines, and yet they're kind of breaking up. It's like, it's really, really hard stuff to do that he does.
Energetic.
Yeah. Like naturally. Man,
as far as me inking myself, it's just I am a very fast penciler. I'm a very slow inker.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
Inking my own stuff is the most stressful part of me doing my own book. I get so nervous when I ink my own stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. This thing must have been a pain in the ass to draw.
I wonder if he built a model of it for himself, because
he might have. In 2000, you could definitely have had like AutoCAD, right?
Either that, or like, what if he took computer parts, like went to an old a pawn shop and bought a bunch of laptop parts and made this thing. This is cool. When we were doing He-Man, I ended that time, whatever that.
Right.
I ended up buying the toy just so I could see like different angles, because it's such a complex shape.
Right. I asked Eric Canetti when we did the live stream, because Eric is so good with like gear. I have a thing that I'm working on, not Blasterkid, but something else. And the characters fly around with like wings. They have like wingsuits. And some of the angles, man, when I'm trying to figure out how to draw the wings at certain, positions. And I'm like, It's
I think
hard.
the secret of something like that is to take a complex form and break it down into major shapes.
Yeah.
So like this shape, and then any sort of relation to those others. Yeah, Eric, man, Eric is so good. He's one of those guys. I mean, I've liked him since back in the Verotic days. I have
Sure.
his old sketchbook, and of course, I like the stuff he did on
It
was
was
it
it was a
DV8?
big deal when he came into comics. I mean, do you remember that?
Yeah,
Like when like the buzz was like the Aeon Flux guy is
yeah,
drawing comics. Like
yeah. And then when he started doing that, I don't know if it was a sketch a day or if it was a sketch a week or
oh right,
whatever.
right. Oh,
Back
this
in
is
like
right, Mignola.
that. Oh yeah, that is. I was just like, I would follow his blog
Look at that.
just to, yeah. Oh yeah, that's full on.
That's so good.
It's like Mignola with a little bit more lines, but
Yeah.
that's
Wow, man, it's great.
incredible.
This guy might have done a very, very interesting Hellboy. Like I could see him doing like a Hellboy miniseries would actually have been pretty cool. He could have built like some pretty awesome like Nazi bad guy robot creatures made of gorillas and robots or something.
Yeah, and getting someone like Hollingsworth or Dave Stewart on him would really mess with it, like do some things to his art as well.
I wanted to see if I can turn this one grayscale too.
Pretty close.
Yeah, there's a little bit of darkness still in here.
That's when you grab that far slider, the far right slider. The one in the middle adjusts mid tones. The one in the far left. See how you can pull that out, and then if you grab the middle one, like if it blows out some of the line art, if you grab the middle one and move it a little more towards the center again, it'll bring the line art back.
It's fun. It's nice. The Marvel reprints of Mark Silvestri X-Men are that real like flat color, like where like the reprint looks too weird because the colors look weird, but you can remove the color on them so easy. So I've actually made my own sort of essential Silvestri Uncanny X-Men.
Dude, please send that to me. I buy the Essential X-Men, the phone book ones.
Right.
My favorite one is the one that has Asgardian Wars in it.
Right.
That one is so good. And I did the same, like there's a really great Art Adams job. It was Web of Spider-Man #2. And that's in the Essential Web of Spider-Man in black and white because the colors murdered that job.
Right.
And the print job kind of crushed it too, like a lot of blown out lines. But that Essential, the Essential Web of Spider-Man, I think it's #4. That one is there, and there's an Essential Doctor Strange that has the golden in it.
Those essentials are like, as you know, they're getting kind of expensive. Some of them.
Yes, they are. The ones that we want are the ones that they're like.
I know.
Like, wait, this is supposed to be the cheap volume. Why is it $100?
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like they did everyone a solid and kind of made these like throwaway books, and all of a sudden everyone went like, do you think that Marvel will at some point return to that idea and do more or reprint the ones that are out?
No, because it's Disney now.
Right. Oh, here's the thing again. It's so funny. Oh, it's talking. So it has a vocabulary. It says like a vocabulary is connected to its memory bank. This is totally 2001.
Yeah.
The robot's a troublemaker. I can already sense it.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's some Art Adams in there too.
This is a great page. Holy shit. I love that middle panel.
Yeah, it's got enough lens distortion on it too.
Yeah. Oh man, this is so cool. Here, let's turn this one gray. Let's take it to gray. You know what? In a funny way, this reminds me a little bit of like Martha Washington Goes to War, like Dave Gibbons.
Yeah, Dave Gibbons.
I don't know what it was, this page in particular.
I don't know. It could just be the suits. It could be
something.
What's your favorite Art Adams job?
I swear I love all the X-Men annuals that he did, but I tell you what, there's something about it's a single piece that he did.
Oh.
He did a Walking Dead piece about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, like a big, like, I don't know, it's like a quintuple page spread.
Oh, yes.
that piece is like, I don't know. I don't know how he was able to draw so many characters and make it so clear. He directs the eye so good in it.
So good.
It trips me out because it's like one thing, like he does everything that he does the last 15 years, I think is incredible. Like he always is just doing killer shit. Something about that piece, it's I think there's 2 trees in the crowd too. So there's like it's like a down shot of zombies coming towards you and a couple of trees, and man, I don't know, something about that piece.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, here, let me get out of screen sharing. Can you pull it up when you get it?
Yeah. So here it is in color. Here it is in black and white. Hopefully, it's big.
You could probably find it on his.
There we go. That's it on Twitter. Let me.
How do I share the screen with you? Do I go to your drop down?
What I do is I go. Let me go in right back into our StreamYard. I say on my side, I say share screen.
Okay.
And then I choose application. I choose a Brave tab because I'm in Brave. And then I choose that. Let me see if open image in new tab. That's what I can do. So I'm gonna do this one more time. Stop sharing. Let's go share screen again. Brave tab. There we go. And then all you have to do is
stream.
Yeah. So
this piece is just like, I don't know how a human can lay something out like this. Like art must have the patience of a saint. It's that I would love that as a poster. I think it's so good.
What was it for? Was it a wraparound or something?
A Walking Dead something. It's just ridiculous. It's so good.
Yeah, the amount of melee and all of that. Yeah, this is great. I don't think I've seen this one. I thought it was something when you had mentioned, I thought it was something. I'm going to save this image.
Yeah, I just when that came up, I was like, art can do no wrong. Like whatever he's on, I need some of that.
Yeah, my favorite job of his, and it was where I learned how to draw collars. It's where I learned how to draw hair. It's where I learned how to draw smoke effects. Was Cloak and Dagger #9.
Oh, right.
It opens great. It's got Dagger, dancing on top of a unicorn in a circus. It's got that Mayhem character, the green smoky one.
Right.
The way he drew Cloak, that's one of my favorites. I mean, obviously, we could go and say like all of it is great. Asgardian Wars, everything.
Like from his Instagram lately, what's one of your favorite pieces that you've seen? Anything stand out to you that like? I
actually bought it.
Oh, it's like you bought the original or bought a print?
I bought an original. He had done it for he had drawn the Thing on a coaster. And I was like, dude, it's over here. Hold on a second. Let me grab it.
What's up, everyone? I see Gabe in the chat. We've got Death Metal Hero, Jordan.
All right, I found it.
Okay, James says that the Walking Dead piece was 5 covers forming one image. I would love to get those, but I would want them black and white. Oh, wow, you bought that? That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, he just looked like he was 3D. And it's got my my birthday. He drew it on my birthday. So it's one of those serendipitous things, like how you're wearing the Black Flag t-shirt today and all that.
Right.
Yeah. So when I saw this recently, I was like, I have to get it. Obviously, we could go into like the that Fantastic Four piece that he did.
Right.
Where it was like the cover of 100 that he just kept expanding upon.
Yeah.
And that used to be, it was a commission for this guy, this lawyer. And then Marvel saw it and was like, yo, can we use this for, and then what was the other one? Original Sin, the one with the eyeball in the middle with
the
shattered pieces.
Yeah. With Arthur Adams is almost in a spot like Frazetta where he could literally just draw probably Marvel pieces. And if I was Marvel, I would always find somewhere to use it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think he can write his own ticket.
I mean, that's the thing too, though. Like Art and Joyce and his family, they live in the Bay Area. And whenever we go visit my parents, we would go and have dinner and stuff with them.
Right.
And I would say that, I would tell Brianna, I'd be like, yeah, he can get like a commission of this like incredible piece and spend literally, if he wanted to, a month on it.
Yeah.
Like, and that not just a month of like not doing it, but like a month every day doing,
right. Yeah.
working it out and make like 20 G's,
My friend buys a lot of those pieces. I know the guy that makes them.
Yeah. I know the guy that owns that.
Vacuum, they call him the vacuum.
Oh yeah. JT.
It's well, I think you go by JL.
Oh, JL, not JT, JL. Yeah. Dude, his comic arts fans gallery, every time I go to it, I'm like, he has that. He has that. Yeah, that guy. JL, that's him. Joe. You know him. That's cool.
I've known him for about 15 years. I met him through Scott Williams. He's a really, really good guy. It's funny because when I first met him, so like I like a lot of the stuff that he owns is kind of public, so people know like what he'll drop on pieces. But I kind of saw the evolution of it where, like, I don't want to get into it too much because it's his own personal business, but it kind of went from like him buying pieces that were 10 to 20 grand, where you go like, that's an expensive piece. Like, should I get this page? It's $12,000. And then now, I mean, he has pieces that are like 10 times that amount.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is because Rob Liefeld is an art collector.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I got to watch, and this is in the 90s, different art collectors. And I started learning about art dealers and art collectors. And one of my favorite art collectors is this guy. You probably know him too, Dave Mandel.
Oh yeah, Dave's great.
Yeah, and he made a lot of his money writing for Seinfeld.
And the Cat in the Hat movie.
Yeah, the Cat in the Hat and Veep. He's the showrunner for the show Veep. He owns like that Dark Knight piece that's on like my favorite piece, one of my favorite pieces of all time, Dave owns. But he was clever, and Rob told me about this. Let's say Rob has a piece that he doesn't want to get rid of.
Right.
And let's say Dave wants it.
Yeah.
Right? Dave will get rid of something that he doesn't really care about.
Right.
To go get two pieces that he doesn't care about that he knows Rob really fucking cares about. Right. And be like, hey, Rob, do you want to get rid of that thing? And you could be like, no. And then he'll go, but I have these 2 John Byrne X-Men pages. And Rob will go, oh, God damn you. Yeah. And that's how Dave would work it that way too, like bank shot brokering. It's not just like, I'll give you money, you give me the piece. It's no, I'm going to get what you really want.
That's really smart.
It's super smart. It's
they're on another level because it's like they're business people and they're creative people that have succeeded at a very, very high level. And then they've got a passion, which is collecting comic art. Neither one of the two guys, as far as I know, they don't read any current stuff. Like you couldn't talk like they'll like I'm on a little email chain with the vacuum, and it's a couple of us, and we talk about art all the time. And he'll catch wind of like artists that are up and coming that are worth collecting, and he'll kind of go like, what do you think like on this artist or stuff like that. But he really keeps his finger on the pulse of what's going on. But I don't think he reads too much new stuff, but he knows all the artists.
Of course he does.
He loves the art. It's like he doesn't buy it like as a hoarder.
Oh, he has incredible, impeccable taste. When I went through his comic art fans gallery, I was like, this guy knows. Like he has not only does he have good taste in the artist, he knows the right pieces.
Oh yeah.
It's like, man,
show either that's like you just go, oh man. So, do you follow David Cho online, the graffiti artist?
I know him, and not personally. I follow his Instagram.
See the launch pictures of him with the Frazetta painting?
Yes.
He was having lunch with JL.
Oh, fuck. That's what that was.
JL brought that to lunch.
I was introduced to David Cho's artwork through a food show. This food show would go and meet with like prominent people. And I know Cho rose to prominence by doing like murals in Facebook, right? And then, but he like basically the host would meet up with famous prominent people, and they would take them to their favorite. What's your favorite place?
Sure. Right.
And David Cho took him to Sizzler. Okay.
Oh, okay. Was he wearing like a red like silk suit?
No, I don't remember what he was wearing, but I remember what the reason he took him to Sizzler, because he said he made these things at Sizzler that were like, it made him happy. What he would do is he would get the taco shell from the salad bar and put the spaghetti and meatballs from the salad bar and eat a spaghetti and meatball taco with that crunchy shell.
Seriously. Oh my God. He just posted a picture of that recently.
Did he?
Well, yeah, because so I know spaghetti tacos from iCarly, as embarrassing as that is to admit, but on iCarly they eat spaghetti tacos, and so I thought Cho was doing a nod to that. I didn't realize that was his thing too.
No, I mean
that's funny.
Literally it might have been. Yeah, these guys are saying it was Anthony Bourdain. The fact, no, he was. At first, I thought he was having a go. You know, like, oh, he's fucking he's being funny because he's a funny guy.
Sure.
But no, he was passionate about it. And, you know, I went and afterwards I had to go find out what it was all about. So whenever I hear David Cho, I instantly think spaghetti taco from Sizzler.
I swear he just literally, like, within the last 2 days, he posted a photo of one either in a story or like on Instagram. And I was like, is that an iCarly reference? But anyway, so, should we do one more comic and then finish this up? Do you want to do the last?
Do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So we don't want to sidebar too hard for people. And I saw Atomic Bulldog Art said Dave Mandel has one of his Grail pieces by Dave Stevens, which is a Rocketeer piece.
Yeah, no, Dave has Grails on Grails. If I'm not mistaken, I think he has the Frank Miller piece where Bullseye's running a Psy up through Elektra.
Right.
You know, like shit like that. You know, like historic. You know, it's like whoever owns X-Men 130, was it 136? The Death of Phoenix, 136, 137, you know, where the upshot with Scott and Jean with the broken bricks and all that. Whoever owns that, whoever owns Days of Future Present or Days of Future Past with Wolverine and Kitty against the Wanted posters.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever owns that, you know, you go, those are some motherfuckers. And, you know, one of the things that's completely insane and awesome at the same time is Terry Austin owns all of his cut and has never sold any of it. So you know, and he doesn't have kids. Like I go, what is he gonna do? I mean,
cash in just to enjoy a little bit of the money, but man,
no, dude, he's literally sitting on probably $10 million. Like if you think about it, because that's every third X-Men cover. That's every third Art Adams. That's everything. Like Walt Simon. Like all of those guys he's inked, and all those epic moments he's inked. He still has them.
I have a friend who's an inker that has kept pretty much everything that they've done, and he's worked on some big stuff too. Okay, so right now, am I in full screen mode for Photoshop for you?
I'm seeing the menus and all of that stuff.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, but I'm in Photoshop.
Oh yeah, there you go. You hit there you go.
Sure.
Look at that backpack and all of that gear is great.
Yeah.
I would have, as the colorist, there's a couple problems I'm having with that first panel.
I was tripping out on it. I was like, is that a reflection?
Yeah, there's two things that happen in color. There's value and hue, right?
Yeah.
And value is basically how dark it is on the grayscale, and hue is the color choice.
Yeah.
His value and hue between that backpack and the rocks behind are so close that it muddles what Kilian did, because I see what he did, and if
it looks like you said, it looks like part of the backpack.
Yeah, had he like if the moon was more of a bluer or more purpley vibe, it would have made it pop a little bit, man.
Yeah. I was gonna outline it and level it, but it doesn't even matter. So all right, let's go. Oh, this is nice.
Nice, yeah. That space lander, that lunar lander, what a piece of work.
This is really, I like how it skidded to a halt. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Man, his craters are great. I love people that can draw good craters.
That's my favorite crater drawer is Wilf's.
Oh, is Wilf's? Okay.
Yeah, you know that one piece that he did where there's that giant moon?
Yeah.
and that guy like hitting the guy upshot with the grass in the background.
It's called oh god, it has a name on the piece.
Okay, well that moon,
yeah,
that's like the moon. You
yeah,
know,
right.
McFarlane draws a great moon, but Wils's moon, you just go, oh shit, that is the moon.
It was called God. What? It has a name on it. It's like back in the day, everyone kind of I think assumed that maybe that was going to be his next book after Wetworks. Like it's called like Blood Sun or something like that, or something Moon. Man, that is really really cool.
That's crazy because the omission of stars in the Earth shadow. I mean, obviously there wouldn't be any stars in the Earth shadow, but the fact that it's so dense in stars around it,
right?
It really pops the spherical level of that Earth.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Even the detailing on the Earth is actually quite nicely done in terms of it feeling like it's wrapping around the form.
The colorist, if I was the colorist, though, I would have done a little bit of line. I mean, this is, what do you say, 2000? I would have done a little bit of line hold on the Earth to push it back a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, turn those black lines to a more of a blue to really push it back.
Yeah, it's got some separation issues.
Separation anxieties.
I know, right? Okay, so let's see. Oh, there's your ice cream truck.
There it is again. See, that he's also working in iconography.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you can do something like that to really give continuity to something. You know, the fact that he could have just put ice cream instead of that melting snowman, but that melting snowman gives you a little extra iconography to remember it by.
Yeah. It's really cool. So this is going to be fun. We're getting towards the last. Oh, I like those guys. These dudes look cool.
Yeah. Almost like the ones Travis did, you know, the swimming under Venice.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, you know, what's interesting is, so this would have been right after that, because we did the Wildcats issues were 1999, 2000.
Yeah, that was Scott Lobdell, right? Lobdell on stories. Yeah. You and Travis on that. What was that called? Street something?
The trade was called Street Smart. Yeah.
Street Smart. That's it. Man, how many times did I have that shit cracked open just to look like, you know, the way to render hair, or the way to
heartbreaker. We didn't do more. The original plan was we were supposed to do 12 issues over a year or over 2 years. It was going to be, well, the theory was we would do one every 2 months. And so I don't want to speak for Travis. The impression I got was he wasn't thrilled that DC bought Wildstorm.
Oh.
And I'm not saying that was the only thing. I think he was ready for a change just in general. So
my question about him, because I get this question asked because we had our Travis Schrey in our studio under the name of Stephen Platt, right?
Right.
And people would ask, "What is he slow, or is he like a procrastinator?" Right? And like Steve was just slow. He just had a lot of lines, and you know, we're both friends with Lee Bermejo, and I remember asking Lee, and this was back when it was happening. He said that like Travis was weird. Like you would see him, and he'd go to sleep, like nothing on the page. He'd go to sleep under his desk, and then in the morning you'd see like half a page finished and be glorious.
Yeah,
and it was like this magical Travis fairy came and did the stuff. So I was always assuming that he was fast, but didn't draw a lot.
He could draw very fast. In fact, I remember one time we had a logo on a page, and for whatever reason he needed to redo it, and like I gave him the board, and I like left, and I came back, and like I came back and he had it done, and I was like what just happened? Like how did he do that so quick? But I like, there's two funny stories that I can tell that are pretty similar. But one time I was working at the studio on a weekend, and he was working on X-Men Wildcats, and it's a page with the bald lady, like that has the wings in it.
Yeah.
And there's one of the pages has like 3 very small panels, and it's her sort of reacting to something. So it's just basically like a headshot portrait, but it's fairly small. It's maybe Like on the original, it'd be maybe like 1.5 inches wide by like 2 inches tall. Dude, he worked on that head all day, like all day. He would paint it out and then paint it back in, and it was crazy because I would go up on a Saturday and like knock out a full page. So like I'd get there at maybe 10 in the morning and leave at like 5, so 7 hours.
Yeah.
But that was all I saw him work on that whole day, was that one panel. And
boy, do you think he knew? Do you think? This is what I wonder just by listening to your story. That was such that Wildcats X-Men was such a major explosion.
Yeah,
I think you look at guys like Steve McNiven and Olivier Copielli, or however you say his name, and you look at like a group of artists that came right after that literally was their fucking textbook, right?
For sure.
It's like Travis is almost like the modern Art Adams as far as the impact on other people's art.
Yeah.
Do you think that Travis was knowing he was dropping a bomb like that and felt the pressure of it?
I've talked about this before. Like Mark Irwin was someone that I was real good friends with, still am. But at the time, Mark and I are kind of similar personalities, where we're sort of like we're rockers, we're into skateboarding and surfing. We grew up like with like Southern California culture. And I don't know why I remember Mark so specifically for this, but like, so Travis turned in like the first 3 pages of X-Men Wildcats, and they came in. He had moved to LA.
Yeah.
And, so the first ones came in and they were only black and white. He hadn't started putting wash on the pages yet, but he had put a little tiny bit of Zipatone on the pages. They went back in at the end of the book and added wash to those pages so that they would mix in with the other ones. But when they originally were sent in, they were only black and white. And I mean, it was like a bomb went off at Wildstorm when that stuff came in. No one could believe how good the pages were. And again, Travis wasn't there to see the reaction, but I mean, it was panic. It was excitement. It was like, have you seen him? I mean, you've got a professional artist like freaking out. And then the next like 1 or 2 came in, and then by page 5, well, there's an explosion page that I own with the Nazis. They're like kind of talking, and then an explosion goes off.
Yeah,
that was the second page with wash, and the first page with wash is the one where Zealot is walking up like this little staircase.
Yeah,
it was like every single page he was like evolving like a lot, like where you were going like, what is page 7 gonna look like? Because this is getting scary how good this guy is. Like it was really insane. And I remember Mark, we were all freaking out on a bookshelf that Travis had drawn. He had drawn the wood grain like on the bookshelf.
Yes,
where Wolverine takes a chair and like smashes a guy. But I think either the page before that or whatever, there's a bookshelf with like green eggs and ham, like is one of the books. But yeah, like everyone was like, he drew wood grain.
Yeah, he drew. Yeah, Rob. I remember Rob saying he's got a new dollar bill style, because it looked like engraving, like you would see on a dollar bill. I remember there was the San Diego Comic-Con the year after that came out, had them upstairs on display, and I remember spending probably about an hour and a half in that room. Just like staring. And then the one thing, bringing up Lee Bermejo again, he had done a pinup in the Compendium book, right?
I have it.
So he got a bunch of comps of the European version.
Right, I have that too.
Which is bigger.
Yeah.
Right? And he gave me a copy of that.
Yeah,
because he had a few extra copies, and
mine is like by Lee. It's funny.
Yeah, that's one of my treasures, dude.
Yeah, it is mine too. I have it literally. Where is it? I just had it last night. It might be sitting right here.
I literally like that. Like, if it was the Jerk, I just need my thermos and this lamp.
Right.
That would be, and this Wildcats X-Men, that would have gone with me. There it is. Yeah, there it is. You got to make it full screen so people could see the scale.
Let me get out of this for a sec then.
Yeah, so Kilian's great. Kilian's great, but people need to see this edition because this is like.
Yeah. So do I go to stop screen sharing, or I click on my icon?
You click on your screen. You'll see a little box that says full screen, and you can just click on that, and you'll fill the whole screen.
Guys, let me just hold on.
In your own window, and then in StreamYard there's like a bunch of different options. click on the one that is just one screen. I think it's on the far left.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah. So it's a hardcover. It's maybe 25% bigger than the comic. Would you say, Dan? Is that about accurate? 25?
Yeah, it's like 2/3 of the original size.
It's not huge, but it's nice. It's in French, I think.
Either that or Italian, but it reads way better. Like the clarity of the print job on it is immensely better than the comic itself. And the comic itself, as we all know, is super classic.
I actually own this page right here.
Now, didn't you assisted or inked some pages in the end, didn't you?
Yeah, very little. I just did flat washes on a couple of pages. I wouldn't overstate it. But
okay.
I did help out on it. Yeah, a little bit.
That's awesome. And some early Libermejo in there too.
Yeah, they originally had Joe Chido laying washes on the pages because Joe obviously was a very accomplished painter. So they got Joe kind of like helping Travis like that. Travis was really bumming out on it. I think he kind of knew that like the Golden Goose was sort of being pulled away from him. Jim was very, very upset that it was taking so long, and there was other books sort of hinged around that book because you had Adam Hughes.
Yeah, the Matt Broom.
Huh?
It was Adam Hughes, Jim, and Matt Broom.
Right. Well, and Travis was supposed to do the final book. In fact, I don't know if I could show it right now, but I have the cover, a single page, and then a panel that he did for Dark Ages. It was so good.
Holy shit.
Well,
that's crazy.
As I said this, and I don't know if Seven is here right now. Steven, are you here? But Blasterkid actually is pretty much me drawing my imagination of what X-Men Wildcats Dark Ages could have been.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but it'd be like seeing a movie trailer and then they never made the movie and you're like a kid and you still want to see that movie, but the only one that's going to make it at that point is you.
Yeah, there was a kid in high school like that. There was a Robotech Macross they hadn't finished.
Right.
You know, and it had been eons for them to finish it. And he went and made this, like his art project was what the rest of the thing was.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
Yeah, I'll pull it down. So this is one of the pages. So this image right here is basically what inspired me to do Blasterkid.
Wow, and that freaking robot, dude.
Right. So Travis did this probably in 1998. This is before I inked him. I inked him right after this piece and then the New Horizon pieces. But yeah, so anyway, he did this and had Stark Age, but there just was no time. And this image I couldn't let it go. And I was like, I have to tell a story with what I imagine maybe could have happened in this comic book.
Yeah.
So it's it kind of went full circle. He's my hero. He's my artistic hero.
Yeah, I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, but Travis was dragging his feet so much at the end that editors were basically saying, if you don't finish by a certain time, you have to give me your original.
Well, no, I mean, it was Scott Doombeer would make some bets with him. It wasn't so much like a work thing, but it was kind of like, Travis, you're gonna have this done, and he'd be like, yeah, and he'd be like, oh, I bet you, $500 you won't, kind of thing. I mean, that's kind of how I remember it, but I don't. Yeah, but
that's great. So there's at least the rumor, because that was like I had heard that, and I was like, I don't even know if that's real, but if it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some truth to it.
What do you think? What do you think his do you think he got performance anxiety? Do you think that he was burnt out? What do you think caused that?
I think he probably suffers a little bit from kind of what I have, which is just, it's like you want it to be great, and you know that you have the ability to make it great, but you know that it's going to take a lot of energy, and it's like you don't want to fuck it up. Like you're the thing that's in the way. It's not right. It's not your ability to do it. It's not the physicality of it. Travis, when Travis was doing that work, the fact that his eyesight was that good is astounding. I have pieces that he drew, and you cannot believe how small he could draw, like pupils on an eye, and nail it.
Well, I remember seeing, like I said, looking at those originals and thinking, does he draw with a magnifying glass? Like,
right. No, he never did. Not that I ever saw.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's because he's Canadian. You know, it's like John Byrne, Todd McFarlane, Travis.
Loverboy.
Yeah, Loverboy. Nickelback. Oh, I'll take that one back.
Corey Hart.
Yeah. Never surrender.
Right. Okay, so we'll finish up.
Yeah, finish up the last pages.
Yeah.
It's like lunchtime for you in Cali.
Yeah, I actually got to get drawing. Okay, so let me see.
Yeah, I hear that, man.
Okay, so I think I need to go to. Do I go to inset screen now, or what do I click on?
You'll see. You'll just look at the icons, and you'll see like a big square on the icon. Right. Looks like a couple of little screens on the left, and then there it is. That's it.
Okay.
And then you just pop your screen in.
Okay. Well, there it is. A fun conversation.
Heck yeah.
People,
we got to do it every now and then, man. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I would definitely be down with that. Oh, this is nice. I love the top panel.
Oh, nice power, and you can see like that his physics are really sound. You know, you can tell that thing like caught up and boom.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I would have to say, as a filmmaker, though, I would have flipped panel 2.
Okay.
Because he's got this. He's setting the stage with the robot on the left and the machine on the right. Yeah, that's how I would have done it right there. Okay. Because your eye goes that way, and continuity-wise, if you were to cut it filmically, that would be a jump cut. It would have been considered crossing the line.
Well, and what's interesting too is he's doing himself a favor with the shapes, because watch this. It goes up like this, like this, like this, like this, but this brings you over here and brings you right into this panel.
That would have, that's the other thing too. Yeah, I would have flipped that.
It's funny that it's not, because you go this way and it's like
he's still, you kind of hit the brakes right there.
Yeah.
But and filmically, again, you're completely crossing the line. You know who taught me that the line principle? It wasn't a film director. It wasn't even anybody in film. I had the chance to meet Paul Levitz one time, and I had just finished drawing an inventory issue of Superman, and I was really proud of it. And I took it to Paul, and Paul fucking obliterated me. And he basically said, "These are really great drawings, but your storytelling is lackluster."
Ouch.
And I was like, yeah, but your eye's moving through the page, and he goes, yeah, that's fine. He goes, that's one element, but like you've crossed the line here, and it's confusing, and who's talking first, and like all this other business. And I was like, oh shit. And then from then on out, I've always been very mindful of the line.
I like this page a lot, and the colors actually kind of work for me in a weird way.
Yeah, no, this is good. Because it seems that environment seems like a place for those colors.
Right. Yeah, it's like they're getting lit by like something in the room, but yet outside through the window you can see like a cooler sort of thing going on.
Yeah. And they're in like the cosmic aspect of it. It all feels right, and like even the yellow, what do they call that? Bokeh effect?
Right.
Like you see it in photographs when there's that bloom of out of focus lights in the background. It's called the bokeh effect. So that bokeh effect that's happening back there feels organic, because it feels like artificial lighting that would be in a spaceship.
Did you ever work in video games?
I did not. No.
Yeah, but so it was funny. So I remember seeing you at Lee Bermejo's wedding, and at that point you were living in France, and you were drawing in the Louvre, but you were working on movies, right?
Yes. Yeah. That was a crazy time. I was working for Luc Besson's company, Europa, and had done stuff on Transporter and on Arthur and the Minimoys.
Wow.
And because my walk to work always took me past the Louvre. I always built in. I know it's weird, right? I always built in like an hour and a half. I would leave an hour and a half early so I could go in. I bought myself this essentially like an annual pass that I could just walk in, show your pass, walk in. You don't have to get tickets or lines. I'd go in, I'd go to the sculpture room, I'd draw, I'd leave, I'd go to work, I'd work on storyboards, I'd walk home. And sometimes on my walk home, I would cross the Seine River, and I had the same pass for the Orsay Museum. And I would go and do the same thing over there because they had like a bunch of Rodins and shit like that.
I was really impressed. I mean, honestly, it was like I had met you a couple of times briefly before, and you'd always been so nice. Because I always tell you, like the first time I met you, I came in with Petty, and so you were a famous extreme young artist. You were like probably a year and a half into your career, so you're like
19.
But you were very, very nice when I met you that time. But when I met you at Lee's wedding and you were telling me what you were up to, I was like, man, this guy is impressive. Like anybody that would take the time to commit to going to the Louvre to sketch is like, man, you have my massive respect.
I think that motivation comes from the idea of like really stepping outside, like trying not to be subjective and like stepping outside and going, I have this opportunity. I'm working in one of my favorite places with the opportunity to see these famous works of art. I know I'm only here for 5 months. I'm going to like live like this will never happen again.
Right.
That's basically it. Because otherwise, I mean, if I moved there, like my buddy Louis, who was the director on those movies. He grew up in Paris, and he picked me up. We went to his flat. The next morning, we went for a walk, and I'm doing this the whole time. And he's like, "What's wrong with you? Are you mental?" And I'm like, "No, dude." I said, "This fucking building is amazing, and holy shit, that's fucking incredible." And he's like, "Oh, I've never noticed." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you like." It's like someone like, when I was in Orange County, people would bug out on Disneyland. And I'm like, that's just a fucking traffic, that's a traffic magnet is what that is,
Yeah, my wife lived in Paris for a year or two. And I've never been there, but I would love to go. It's like I did go to Venice, and Venice to me, like Pirates of the Caribbean come to life is how I describe it.
I thought of Venice as a floating mall. A sinking mall. And I was also I got really upset in Venice because they have a museum there called the Accademia.
Okay.
And on all of the signs that make you want to go to the Accademia, they have Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. The man. Yeah, I know the Vitruvian Man, him standing in the circle in the square. It's like the perfect proportion. And they're like, the Vitruvian Man at the Accademia, right? So I was like, yo, I love Da Vinci, big Da Vinci fan. I have all the notebooks and like, have got dipped into the codex and things like that. So I was like, I fucking Vitruvian Man, So I go there, I pay the money to go into the museum. I painstakingly walk through every room.
Right.
And it's like giddy, like when you're about to get on a ride and you have to wait in the line. And obviously there's cool stuff to look at, but you want the ride.
Right.
So I get to the end of the museum and I don't see the Vitruvian Man. Right. And I go backwards. I walk back and retrace my steps looking for, did I miss a room? Did I miss a sign? Something. So then I get to the help desk and I said, this is the Accademia Museum. Yes. You guys have the Vitruvian Man. Yes. Well, what room is in it? It's in our archives.
Oh.
Okay. Well, where can I see it? Oh, we only pull it out like once a year.
Oh, man.
I was like, but it's on all of your fucking promotions. Like, that's why I'm here.
Right.
Oh no, you can't see it until we do special events where we take it out. And I'm like, you fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I wouldn't like. I was so mad. I was so mad.
I don't blame you, my friend.
trickery. And there you go with that scaffolding bit again.
Yeah, I know, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Man, he's not messing around with that.
This is like in 2000, the image boom still had affected everyone, where it was like, I'm not saying for him, like he felt it, but it was like we were expected to do a lot of detail. Like people, it was sort of the norm, you know. It's like you're gonna dig in and you're really gonna work for this stuff.
Speaking of working for, do you think? No, I don't think he did a stat on those last two.
No,
I think he drew it twice.
You can see there's different detail on it.
Yeah, he drew it twice.
He may have light boxed it, but still.
Wow. Even the shadows, you can see on the shadows of the rails coming through.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, my only complaint about this whole thing, and no knock, you know, like I'm not trying to diss this guy. It's just my personal taste is that the Chris Chuckery guy.
Yeah.
At the time, I mean, maybe he does it different now, but the colors to me are the only thing about this whole package that I'm not feeling.
Yeah, it's weird. Chuckery, if I'm not mistaken, I think might have colored some of Bacalo's stuff at Marvel, but I could be wrong on that. But I know the name from something else for sure.
Nah, this first time seeing his name. I mean, first time.
Okay.
I think first time with everybody on that team. Never heard of the letterer, never heard of the writer, never heard of Kilian.
I'll go a little smaller so we're not like so big. Well, dude, that was so fun, Dan. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'll put links to all the stuff. So I'll put Pineapple Perception, your Twitter, and then also your YouTube channel for you.
Yeah. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. So those guys know. But for the month of October, we're doing this thing called Fragtober every night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So it's 6 o'clock West Coast.
I'll tune in tonight.
Yeah, I basically have people put this phrase that talks about it, and then they suggest what I draw, and from those I pick what I'm going to draw, and usually I pick like 5 minutes before I go on. I don't even know, so it's kind of fresh, and you know I have to come up with it on the spot, and so it's a whole lot of fun.
You're so good. You're lucky because you can acclimate to anything. You're like a vet.
It's my wife FaceTiming me. That's weird. Hi, baby.
So I figured it was time to wake her up.
Yeah. I'm streaming right now.
Sorry,
it's okay.
I came in and she was standing in here already awake, holding the iPad, watching a show.
She's very smart. Our little 1-year-old.
Oh. Yeah. Oh wow! Holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know she could grab it either. That's nuts.
All
right, I'll be up in a little bit. I love you. That's nuts.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dan. Like I said, and for people that saw this, thank you all for coming by and watching it. And for anyone that watches it on a replay, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Dan.
No problem. Oh, and Arik is saying Kilian did Shadows of the Empire comic and some other Star Wars stuff. His style seems like it would be perfect. I mean, obviously, you said he's over on Clone Wars, but a Star Wars comic, I could totally see that. And I know Lucasfilm probably says, here's a palette that you guys need to work in. It's the movie palette. God, I gotta check those out, man. Gotta check them out. But yeah, thank you, Rich, for having me.
Dude, that was fun. It was
a lot of fun, man.
Really good. I'm gonna watch it back today and enjoy it.
That's good.
So have a great one. I'll see you tonight. I might, if you do the group thing, I might hop on for a little bit.
Yeah, we do. The format for anybody that doesn't watch the show, the format is I open with a monologue. I show some funny stuff. I pick the word of the day. I draw for about an hour and change, and then I open up the floor and bring people in, and we just
all the artists in the chat last night were so cool. They were such nice people, and it was fun seeing everybody having a good time drawing and talking about comics. It was great.
Feels good, especially in this day and age where everything seems crazy. Hi, baby.
It's interesting. Let's talk about it for 1 second. So a few months ago, I was actually pretty depressed and very unhappy, and like I never let it show like on YouTube, but it was like it's just things were kind of like a bummer, and I feel so much more optimism now.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Is we're almost like I don't know if it's a hive mind, but like they say the most contagious thing is a smile.
Right.
And if you take that energy across the way when it comes to people that are creative, especially like the fact that we have this great group that's growing and growing,
Right.
if we fill it with positivity, we can kick the vibe, the bad vibes ass.
Yeah. The bad vibes can't break it. They can't.
That's
but yeah,
rich.
I feel what I like about it too is that it's encouraging everyone to be creative. Everyone that's out there, you can be someone that's just a fan of comics and start making up your own comic. You know, start writing something, meet other people. So it's very, very cool.
Heck yeah, man. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, all right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, bye.
All right, see you guys.